You're watching Toon TV. It's full time from Vicarage Road. It's finished. Watford 2, Newcastle United 1. It's finished 2-1 to Watford. And well done to Watford for a very good second half performance. You fully deserve that. But for us, again, it's an absolute disaster. It's another collapse. It's a game which I went into it with confidence that we could go on and win this game. It's Watford, for goodness sake. You know, they're struggling. It was always going to be a tough ask, but when you don't go for that second goal and you don't make your chances count, then the opposition is going to punish you for it. And they did that on 2 occasions, and they fully deserved the 3 points. Troy Deeney got their 2 goals in the second half. Gale did get the early one in the first half, but we had so many chances to potentially go 2-3-0 up, and we didn't take them. And when you're battling against clubs who are in that relegation battle, then they're going to try and find a way to punish you and get the points. And that's now 2 defeats in a week. Steve Bruce, what was the game plan in that second half? Because the first half, I was looking for fight, passion, heart, and I got all of that in the first 45 minutes. No problems with that whatsoever. And I'm thinking, right, okay, 1-0, Watford potentially could have got an equaliser, but we could have had a couple of goals ourselves, going into half time. We had that 1-0 lead, but then you've got to try and get that second goal. You've got to get that all-round killer goal, and we didn't get it. And then you're giving Watford the momentum to go on and do what they did in that second half and, win the game. And we conceded 2 really sloppy penalties, in my opinion. They didn't need to happen. Matt Ritchie, I mean, what are you doing? I know Fernandez was beaten, but you didn't have to go in the way you did. I mean, you're giving Watford that opportunity for the penalty, and you're giving the referee, an easy decision. They went to VAR and they said it was a pen, and Watford scored, and then it just gets worse. In the later on towards the end when you're thinking 1-1, okay, then Watford get that penalty and Manquillo takes his man down. It's just there's no need for it. There's no need for us to put in those sort of tackles in the box. When you do that, you're taking a real risk, and we've done it on 2 occasions, and Watford have got on and won the game. From a game which slipped away from that first half performance, I've seen a really good fighting performance. I've seen the lads string passes together. I've seen we work the goalkeeper, and you're thinking, okay, something could happen. But then going 1-0 up has been our downfall, because 1-0 is never enough in the Premier League. You've got to go on and get that second goal, and we got rightfully punished. And fair play to Watford. They're going to stay up now on 34 points. They fully deserved it on their second half performance, and they showed real balls. They showed real, character to come from behind and win the game. And when you're at home, despite no fans there in a relegation battle, it's difficult. Of course it is, but fair play to them. We've had a stinker of a performance. I mean, that's not the Newcastle United that I know. It's not been the Newcastle United that I've known this week. Yes, Man City was always going to be a tough game. We're seeing nothing, but I was asking for a little bit more in this game. We've seen it for 45 minutes. That is never enough. And I think Steve Bruce has to take some of the blame for the way he set us up in that second half. Like, what did he say to them at half time? Did you say something like, well, you're 1-0 up, you're capable of getting a second goal? Because that's not enough. You've got to G the lads up to try and get that second goal to kill any momentum that Watford have got. And while it's only 1-0, it's only a slender lead. And Watford have got decent players. I said in the preview, Watford will give us a game. There will be a dangerous threat. Saw will be a dangerous threat, and his threat led up to, their winning goal, for their penalty. And this time I'm angry because we've not laid a glove on Watford really in that second half. We've had a couple of shots on target, and that's about it. But it was all of them. And you would think that we're actually in a relegation battle the way we played. You would think that Watford were safe by the way they played that second half. A total contrast. I mean, this is the attitude now that I'm seeing from these lads, which I don't like. The defeatist attitude that I've seen in the Man City game, that, oh, well, we've beaten Bournemouth. Well, we don't really have to try anymore. West Ham, we're lucky not to lose that game. We got a defeat against Manchester City. We've lost this one. Since Bournemouth, we've been a shadow of ourselves. Like, we've proven it time and time again that we can go out and get results. But since Bournemouth, we've really looked a shadow of ourselves. And no wonder we're stuck in mid-table. No wonder we lack so much quality. And no wonder us, the fans, get so frustrated at how shit we are at going forward. I mean, it says a lot when Jonjo Shelvey from the holding midfield area is our top goal scorer. We're seeing nothing from the strikers. I mean, yeah, Dwight Gale got a goal today, fair play. But we missed absolute sitters in that game. The first half, I'm sorry to say, we could easily have been 3-0 up. Yeah, Welbeck had a great chance. But all in all, man, you've got to try and make your chances count, and we didn't do it. I mean, honestly, it was a game of two halves, and you don't win a game on the first half. You win a game on your second half performance, and Watford were the better side. I'll put my hands up and say we're terrible. We're absolutely dreadful. And I can't say to one of those guys on that pitch for Newcastle for us today to say that they played well. The first half, I'll give them it. Second half, Watford literally carved us open. Nigel Pearson, whatever he'd said in his team talk for halftime, he got it spot on. We just couldn't cope with, their threat, unfortunately. And that's what happens when you're on the beach and you've got nothing else to play for. Do you know what it is now? I'm in that sort of mood where we've got 3 games to go. Just end the season now, because let's be honest with you. Where are we going to get our next win from? Tottenham at home. I wouldn't be surprised if Mourinho gets his first win with no fans at the ground and nothing to play for. We've got Brighton away, always a tough place to go. It'd be tough to get anything from there. Then we've got Liverpool last game of the season at St James's, albeit they've won the league. We'll probably get spanked with their second team. I have to say, Rose was clumsy. I mean, he was lucky not to get away with a penalty decision, because he took down Will Hughes. If VAR had seen that again, then I think Watford get a penalty again. They could have had 3 in the space of that 45 minutes in the second half. I'm just absolutely, annoyed with the contrasted performances, because first half, we didn't put a foot wrong. We played really well. But how can you go from that to playing so bad and so low in that half? Like, how can you? I know Watford were going for it. I get it. They're going to try and stay in the league, but at least try and get the second and make a fight of it, for goodness sake. Make a fight of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'll run through the game and give my thoughts on the key parts of it, and then I'll read out your comments, and then you can have a chat with me after a disappointing 2-1 defeat. So the team lineup, I didn't have a problem with the 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, it gives us that freedom to attack. So we had Dubravka in net, the back four. We're seeing Lascelles, Fernandez, Manquillo came back in. We're seeing Danny Rose. And then the 2 holding midfielders, we had Jonjo Shelvey and Fabian Shaw. And then we had Matt Ritchie, Almiron and St. Maximin, and Dwight Gale up front. It was a bit of a toss of the coin between Dwight Gale and Joe Linton. But anyway, it seemed to have been a good move, because Dwight Gale did get his goal in the first half. So going into it, 3 minutes in, St. Maximin, he picks up a good ball, on the left-hand side. He crosses it in the box, and Watford are not marking Almiron. He sort of bursts a gut to try and attack it, and he completely fluffs it. And it evades everybody. For me, he's got to put that in. And we could be 1-0 up after 3 minutes. Watford did not get off to the best start. We're threatened. And you've got to make your chances count. And then we did get a corner. From that in the 10th minute. And Danny Welbeck, he falls asleep. And Miggy Almiron, he hits a ball straight at Foster. He should do better there. Good save by the keeper. But for me, he's got to slot that in. We could easily be 2-0 up in 10 minutes. We were getting gaping opportunities. Like, they weren't like from outside the box. They were literally gaping opportunities. Watford could have been down and out in the first 10 minutes. And then, Watford do wake up after 15 minutes. Dubravka, he saves onto the post from a Danny Welbeck volley. It was Manquillo who was falling asleep. The ball was crossed into the box. Welbeck, he hit it flush on the volley. And it was a good save by Dubravka onto the post. And they were checking VAR to see if it went over the line. It didn't. Lascelles cleared. But that's where the warning signs were there. But we didn't let that trouble us. After 23 minutes, we did take the lead through a Dwight Gale header, because we did threaten. We did, cause some problems to Watford's defence. And from the right-hand side, Ritchie, he swings the ball in. Fernandez, he glances his header across to Dwight Gale, and he literally just steps the ball into the back of the net. And it's 1-0, and you're thinking, right, okay, we've got the lead. Now let's kick on and try and get the second. We've missed some sitters, but let's try and get that all-important second goal to kill off the game. And yes, okay, we had some other chances as well, where Ritchie from the right, he put a corner in, and Foster was having a decent game. He tipped one over the crossbar, and it could easily have been 2-0 there and then. But we had another chance through ASM. He was one-on-one with Ben Foster. He pulled off a really good save. I think ASM should score that. He's got the pace. He beats the defence. Watford are getting absolutely nowhere near him. And it's ridiculous because in the first 30, 35 minutes, we could have been 3 or 4-1 up. 3 or 4-1 up on the chances created with Almiron and ASM, just to name a few, and Welbeck, hitting the post. It was that sort of game where towards the end of it, it did go end to end. Capu, he gets a free kick on 42 minutes. He whips it in, and there was a bit of pinball in the box, and we somehow managed to clear it. And we're going to half time 1-0, and I'm thinking to myself, yes, it's a great lead, but we've got to go on and potentially be 2, 3, 4-1 up. We had gaping opportunities. It wasn't as if they made it difficult for us. There were practically open goals. I mean, Almiron, like I say, after 10 minutes, sorry, even after 3 minutes, he's got to score that. When the ball gets whipped in by St. Maximin, he whipped in a delicious ball. He's got to get sort of contact on that ball. And if he does, for me, it's 1-0 at the time. Obviously, Gale bails him out. But we had so many other chances as well to go on and be comfortable at half time. And when you're only 1-0 up, I was expecting Watford, if I'm honest with you, to have some sort of response. I was never getting ahead of myself, and I knew 1-0's never enough. And I have to say, we dominated that first half, fully deserved the lead. But second half, for me, it belonged to Watford. And it's what you do in the second half, not what you do in the first half. And that's where games are won and lost. And unfortunately, we lost it on our second half performance. Second half, Watford went at us. We couldn't deal with how they went about it. And they won a penalty on the 50th minute when Matt Ritchie takes down Kiko. Obviously, Kiko goes past Fernandez, but Ritchie, for me, makes a silly challenge, on Kiko, and he goes down. You could say it's soft or whatever, but at the end of the day, he put too much force into the tackle, and he's given Kiko that chance to go down. And Watford get a clear penalty, and they went to VAR. It was checked, so of course it was a penalty. Deeney steps up, and he puts it down the middle. It's 1-1. And I have to say, on the first 5 minutes of that second half, they deserve it. If you switch off, then you're going to get punished time and time again. And then Watford, they miss an absolute sitter only 6 minutes later when Fernandez, I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to either pass the ball to somebody, and he completely misjudges it. And he finds Deeney, who's one-on-one. And for me, he takes that touch. He's got to either hit that left or right. If he hits that left or right to Dubravka, he's not saving it. And that 2-1 up after 58 minutes, and somehow he hits it straight at Dubravka. It's a great save. But what the fuck is Fernandez doing with that? I mean, for me, it's simple. You get the ball. If in doubt, clear it. If in doubt, kick it out. Don't just pass it straight to a Watford attacker who's already got that first goal for Watford to get them back into it and give them a chance. You have to have that quick 2-1 lead. That's not what we should be doing. And that was the full pattern of the second half. We made so many mistakes, basic mistakes, and we were giving the ball away far too easily. And there was a chance for us on the 59th minute, a minute later, when Deeney, the ball was dinked into him, and then he finds Welbeck, and somehow two of our players, I think it was Danny Rose, there was a double deflection, they put it over the crossbar, and again, there was a chance for them, a gaping chance. There could have been 3-1 up after 60 minutes, after being 1-0 up at half time. That was the sort of the pattern of the game. And then we do have a chance when ASM puts the ball in the net after 66 minutes, but then, of course, he just went a fraction offside, and Watford get away with one. It could have been a good response after, that 1-1, but it remains 1-1. Bruce obviously makes his first change. Ritchie comes off. Joe Linton comes on. Ritchie, for me, he was at fault for, Watford's equaliser. I kind of understand why that was made. Joe Linton, for me, doesn't offer anything into the game. He didn't offer anything for the last sort of, 20 minutes. And then 73 minutes in, Watford get a penalty when Hughes is taken out. And you could say, Mankioi, you're daft. I mean, again, when you're in the box, you've got to be sure of your tackle. And he wasn't, and he brought down Hughes far too easily. And they could have had a penalty before that. And Troy Deeney, he steps up. And, Hughes was brought down. That could have been a penalty if VAR checked it. There was another penalty later on. But we do get away with it because it's just clumsy by Danny Rose. Do apologise about that bit. And then Steve Bruce makes some more subs. Bentaleb and Kraft come on for Dwight Gale and Danny Rose. I feel he should have kept Dwight Gale on the pitch. I mean, albeit he had a quiet second half, he should have kept him on. He should never have replaced him. Danny Rose, I thought, had a very poor game. And again, he could have been at fault for a penalty just before that. And then Watford do get a penalty on 80 minutes. Again, a clumsy fouled by Mankio, gets on the wrong side of Sarr, who's got the pace to burn, and he goes down, and it's a clear pen. VAR checker in Watford. They go 2-1 up when Deeney steps up, and he puts it into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's what Watford deserve. We've been shocking the second half. We're second to every ball. Just no game plan by Steve Bruce, and I think his substitutions were all completely wrong, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't see any fight, any passion, any heart, anything in that second half to suggest that we deserved even a draw from that game. Watford, fair play to you, fair play, because you're trying to stay up, and you would have thought that we were that sort of side, trying to stay in the Premier League, and you showed real fighting spirit, and you could say we gifted you the goals, but it doesn't matter. You just went for it, and we had no answer, and you just could have won that game in the end. But let's be honest with you, on chances created, the game could have finished like 6-4 to Watford. It really could have, with the chances on target for what I'd watched. And listen, the better side won. In that second half, you don't win a game on the first half, you win on the second half performance, and we're fucking shocking. Honestly, the lads, they've packed up, man. They're on the beach. I'd be so glad if I never see Bentaleb, Rose, or Lazaro, or any of them next season, because for me, we'll lack so much quality. And people talk of like Europe, and that was an opportunity blown away by West Ham last week. There was a chance of top 10. We're not good enough for top 10, unfortunately. We're just a mid-table, mediocre club until we sort out this side. Because if we lose St. Maximin and we lose Almiron next season, I will fucking go mental, because without them two, then we're fucked anyway. And then obviously it didn't help when Lascelles went off with an injury. I hope he's okay. It looks like he could be missing for the rest of the season after just coming back from a previous game where he was missing. It just wasn't our second half, unfortunately, and I had that gut feeling if we turn up in the second half and we play like we did first half, we'll have a chance. But if we turn up and don't give a shit and play like, oh, well, it's only Watford, then they're going to punish you, and that's exactly what they did. And I take nothing away from that performance. So we're still currently 13th in the Premier League, I believe, on 43 points. We've got a difficult last 3 games, I have to say. And I just don't know where our next points are coming from, because for me, that's a 3-pointer for me. That's a home banker, another home banker that we should be getting down at Vicarage Road, and we didn't. And we bottled it. We completely bottled it. And, we went from possibly a 7 to 8 out of 10 performance to a 3 or 4 out of 10 performance in that second half. I mean, I don't know what the lads were playing at. Honestly, I really don't. And this time I'm actually angry, because I'm sorry to say, yes, Watford, they should be doing a lot better in the season, but we've pretty much gifted them, those 2 goals, 2 penalties, which, in my opinion, we should be clearing. We shouldn't even be allowing Watford anywhere near the box. I'm sorry for my language, but I'm absolutely fuming. I'll read your comments out right now, and then I'll leave a link down below. And I'll leave a link now, actually, if anybody would like to come in while I read your comments. But honestly, man, it's frustrated isn't the word right now. I can't believe what I've just witnessed, in that second half. Honestly, that I was about to say that's unlike us, but it's not. It's just typical fucking Newcastle fashion, where we play so well one half, and then the half where it matters the most, we don't turn up. That's the thing. We don't turn up, and we get exactly what we deserve. And if any fan tells me we deserved anything from that game, you're deluded. We did not deserve anything from it. You could do well first half. You could score as many goals as you like. But if the opposition plays well and scores more than you second half, you win on your second half performance. We've been honestly below par in the last 3 games. West Ham, we got very lucky that they're worse off than us. But honestly, yeah. We'll read your comments. So Miles A said, we threw it away. Yeah, we did big time. Shocking. Honestly, Watford second half, they carved us open through knife through butter. Honestly, it was ridiculous. Freddie MS said, fuming. Yeah, I'm absolutely frustrated. I'm angry. Players couldn't give a shit. They're not playing for the cause. They're not trying to play to get extra points. They're on the beach, and I don't care what they say after the post-match reaction. I'd love to know what Steve Bruce fucking says after that game, because I tell you what, first half, no problem, great. But what did he say? What did he say at half time? What did you say to the players to have that sort of second half performance? Because, albeit, yes, it's a 1-0 lead, but you can't play like that in the Premier League. It doesn't matter whether you're safe or not. If you make those basic errors, then you're going to get punished. The first goal was never a penalty. I believe it was, in my opinion. It was silly by Matt Ritchie. It's clumsy. Kiko's not really going anywhere. And you could say, yes, he bought the penalty, but it's the way he went in. He didn't really get on the right side of Kiko, and unfortunately, he's gave the referee a decision to make. VAR checked it, and they've said penalty, and I actually have to agree. And it's a cast of our own downfall because we played shit in that second half. And when you switch off for just 1 second in this league, if you switch off for just 1 second, you will get punished. The referee was shocking. I wouldn't say the referee was shocking. Yes, okay, there was a few bad decisions for ASM when he was going down, but you can't blame the referee for our second half performance. We really can't. It's our own fault. We caused our own problems. We really did. And the goals that were conceded were just comical. 2 comical penalties, which I'd say Watford deserved, which shouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? You've got to clear your lines. Mancure was off today. You know, Rose was clumsy. He could have gave away a penalty for Hughes. We couldn't cope with Watford at the best of times. Chris NUFC says, what a disgrace. Steve Bruce needs to go and the takeover needs to happen. Just before I answer that, if you could please like the stream if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't. It's free to do, so it really will help the channel to grow in 2020, and I'm sure I'll get a few more people in after this disappointing result. I'm so glad that the game kicked off early because I've now got the rest of the afternoon to try and calm down because that was ridiculous. Yeah, we need the takeover, but is it going to happen? I really don't know. Apparently, Steve Bruce is planning for next season. And if he is, it's just going to be mid-table mediocre. That's all it's going to be. And I'm sure every fan watching this right now will agree. We're a mid-table mediocre club under this ownership until we sort things out, until we get him out, until we have this, poor attitude of just switching off in games and thinking that the game's done. The quality is just ridiculous. I mean, Bentaleb, he's shit. Bentaleb offers absolutely fuck all to our side. Joe Linton, fuck all. He doesn't play in the 4-2-3-1. He plays in the 4-3-3. Joe Linton is not a striker. And when he came on, I was expecting nothing anyway. And what did I get? Oh, yeah, nothing. Didn't see the point. You know what I mean? You should, in a game like this, where at the time where it's 1-1, you should be bringing on Mutu. Where's Mutu? Like, what more can he do in training to not get a game? Where is he? He's not there to be seen, is he? Honestly, man, it baffles me. Yes, you could say he's not fantastic, but listen, he's rarely played all season. I mean, he can't be any worse than Joe Linton. He's surely not. Mutu can't be any worse than Joe Linton. I'm sorry, he can't be. Because at least Mutu's a striker. At least he'll try and get forward. Does Steve Bruce not remember the 2 goals he scored at Old Trafford and the goal that he scored in the Carabao Cup? Short memories. Arsenal 4 says, Newcastle lost. Where is the takeover? I literally don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. I pass caring with it, honestly. I want it to happen. If it happens, fantastic. But listen, if it's Mike Ashley next season, we're going to have to get used to it. I mean, I've been used to it for the past 13 years. Shit, time and time again. Same old crap from the newspapers, where they can't come out and say anything. Oh, it's all private and confidential from the Premier League side. Honestly, what a load of shite. Karen Davison says, hi, Sharky Peck. Can I ask how the hell are we still in the Premier League? Do you know why? Because ASM and Almiron has bailed Steve Bruce out. That's why we're still in the Premier League. We've had a little bit more quality in the second half of the season. We've changed the formation because if we kept with 5 at the back, there's no doubt we're probably in Watford and West Ham's position, if not lower. We're probably in Bournemouth's position. That's not even me being funny because we'll go nowhere with our 5 at the back. But honestly, the game today was just... It was carbon copy of the Man City game. Apart from the first half, we played well and we deserved that goal, but we should have scored more. It's never enough going into the second half. And in the second half, we'll look like a shitty, bang-average championship side. And then again, we've got championship players in the side. No wonder we collapsed the way we did. Honestly, I'm so angry. I'm so angry, man, with this game today. Karen Davison, maybe we better call the Champions League and book reservations. David Wallace says, the takeover deal, honestly, your guess is good as mine. I really don't have a clue. Chris NUC says, we only have Steve Bruce because of Mike Ashley. Time for a change and get this takeover done. Well, yeah, he's a cheap option, isn't he? They say he's a local lad and that. And fair enough, he's done a good job. I take nothing away from him, especially the second half of the season. But in games like this, where you've got a chance to surpass Rafa Benitez's points tally from last season, we're doing our very best to bottle it because West Ham, we bottled it. Man City didn't turn up, and today we completely bottled it, especially that second half. I'm just laughing at the all-round performance because you would like to think we're either safe, which we are, or we're in the relegation zone and we don't look like staying in the league. Ty Parker says, Mancure, Fernandez, Rose, Shelby, Shaw, all awful. Yeah, mate, I have to agree. They were fucking dreadful. Honestly, it's beggars belief. Like, how they can have so many good games and then they have so many bad games. And no wonder we ask for more quality in the transfer windows, but we don't get it because the owner is all about penny pinching. He's all about ripping the side up and bringing in cheaper players who are past the sell-by date. Yeah, people are asking to join. If you do want to join, I'll leave another link in right now. So be 1 sec. Let's go into the comment section. I'll just post a comment in so you can, if you want to talk to me, you're more than welcome to do so. Like I say, I'm not in the best of moods, but I'll still talk to you no matter what, because you are the supporters. Right, so the next one is from Diane Quinn. Really disappointed. I thought 1-up and playing well. You know, at least a point. You're right. Get the second goal. Disappointed. You should Bruce go. Well, I think Steve Bruce will be judged on next season. If I'm honest, if the takeover doesn't happen, then he'll be judged on his formation, the 4-2-3-1. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the summer. Of course, we want some sort of takeover. We want Mike Ashley out of the club because we're not going to progress next season. I just predict it's a relegation battle / mid-table finish. That's all it is, unfortunately. And yeah, 1-0 is never enough in the Premier League. It doesn't matter who you play, whether it's Bournemouth, Norwich, Watford, like today. You know, you've got to try and get that second goal. Ty Parker, you said Richie should know better than to give away a pen like that. It's ridiculous. Like, people will say it wasn't a penalty. In my opinion, I have to be honest, it was. You know, Kiko's going nowhere. If he gets a shot off, I think Dubravka saves it. Fernandez is daft to let him go past him anyway. But Richie, yes, fair enough, he's doing it for the cause, but you've got to do it correctly in the box. And he put a bit too much force into the tackle, and Kiko goes down, and he gives the referee no other opportunity but to give Watford a pen. They check the VAR, and unfortunately, it's a penalty. And from the start of the second half, we looked to shadow ourselves in the first half. And the minute Watford get that penalty, I'm thinking they're going to go on and win this. And that's exactly what they've done. We gave away another penalty. We could have gave a third, actually, for Danny Rose, who didn't actually win the ball from Hughes in the box. Mancure looked like he had a bet against us. Wouldn't be surprised. Kraft should have started at right back. Yeah, I agree. I had him in my starting 11. He showed a bit of fight, actually, in the last 10 minutes when he came on. But, well, last 10, 15 minutes, Rose is just, he's not good enough, in my opinion. He's too clumsy, too lazy. Mancure didn't have his best game today. I think Shelby was decent first half. Didn't see anything of him in the second half. Richie was all right first half. Seen nothing of him. He caused a foul. Gale was decent first half. Got the goal. Right place, right time. But we've seen nothing of him in the second half. You could say the service wasn't great. But at the end of the day, man, you've got to play so much better than that for both halves. Welcome, Jay, to the stream. I'm just going to read a few comments before I talk a bit further, okay?
Yeah, my man.
Next one is from Philip Kears, NUFC. Dismal second half display. Yeah, I can't say anything more than that, really. It was shocking. Second best all over the park. Watford, fair play to them. You know, they took the initiative, and I just don't like the defeatist attitude that I've seen in the last 3 games, unfortunately. The next one is from Philip Kears again. On a positive note, at least Villa will be most likely relegated. Can't stand them by the fact that they laughed at us getting relegated twice. Yeah, if there's one positive you're going to take from the defeat, it looks like we've relegated Norwich. Well, Norwich are down anyway. They've been confirmed after getting beat off West Ham. Bournemouth, I would say they're down now. Unfortunately, it's going to be a big ask to try and get, what is it, on 28? They're going to have to try and get 6 points. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. The same for, trying to think who the other one is, Aston Villa, who you mentioned. I can't say. I think they are the free to go down. I think Watford have just done enough in the game to keep themselves safe. I think both West Ham and Norwich and Watford will both get more points on top. Brighton look all right in 36, but that doesn't excuse our performance in that second half. Yes, Watford are fighting for their lives, but you've got to. In the first half, we had chances to get 2-3 goals ahead. Watford, you could say, that a great chance in the first half. It could have been 3-1 at half time to the Toon, and unfortunately, second half, with only a 1-0 slender lead, Watford were always going to have that initiative. You know, Pearson, the manager of Watford, would have said half-time, lads, are much better than this. Newcastle will fall that second half, and were crumbled, unfortunately. The next one is from Arsenal 4. He asked about the takeover. I don't have a clue. Bravo Mo 1982 says, what's up? Just angry. I'm just frustrated. I think it's been a poor week. 2 defeats. I can understand against Manchester City, but when you lose to Watford, unfortunately, it's not good enough. It's not acceptable. the way we collapsed in that second half. Karen Davison says, be better off waiting for a takeaway. There's more chance of getting that than a takeover. Yeah, I have to agree. It's just ridiculous now. You know, the fact we'll have to wait this long for a takeover. The Premier League say it's all legalised stuff, but it's been dragging on far too long. You know, we need answers. The season's done for us now. You know, we've got 3 games to go. I don't care how many points we pick up. It's all about next season. It's all about what's going on with Steve Bruce. Is he still going to be manager? What's going on with the squad? Because let's be honest with you, I would only keep 6 or 7 of those players that remain in the side for next season. That sounds harsh, but we're not good enough. We're a mid-table, mediocre club. We need to accept that. We're not good enough. And it proved in the game today against Watford. We are no better than them. Yes, okay, Watford have got, 34 points. We've got 43. There's nothing really in it. There's nothing really in it in terms of how we play against them. We drew 1-1. You know, it's St James's Park, so I think both games were even. You know, it was a game of 2 halves today, but it's the second half where you judged, and Watford got them 2 goals and won the game, and they could have, on that second half, could have won 3 or 4-1. You know what I mean? Take nothing away from them. The next one's from Bravo Mo 1982. Does the defeat lack that changes your mind to the protest against the Premier League to push the takeover? Well, at the minute, I want the takeover, but it's a case of we'll have to wait and see. I'm past caring with it now. It's been dragging on too long. What happens, happens. I'm sure all fans want the takeover, but what I want more than anything is answers. In the game today, I wanted to see passion. I wanted to see fight. I wanted to see heart. We got that in the first 45 minutes. 45 minutes. The game is on 90 minutes of a performance, and we got that for half of the game. We've seen, let's be honest, I've seen a 10% performance from the lads in that second half. We sort of competed here and there, but it's simply not enough in this league. And you can tell in my voice, I'm just absolutely, I'm angry. The same comment, I'm losing it, mate. The EFL needs to approve it. Well, we even need to hear answers right now, because either it's going to get done or it's going to collapse. It's going to happen one way or the other. It's going to have to happen soon, because I'm getting so fucking angry with this waiting game. And people saying, oh, there's a takeover, there's not a takeover, and fans getting criticised if they're saying, well, the takeover's not going to happen. I can understand, like, people like myself who think if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like, we've had 13 years, if the same old shite, if the same old, you know, comments from the papers, oh, there's a deal, there's this, there's that, it's been talking to the Premier League. It's the same old, man, and we don't need this in a defeat. Read some more comments. We've got a few more, Jay, and then we're nearly there, and I'll talk to you. Mm-hmm. If it was at Newcastle, I would have done it a long time ago, just, you know, carry banners to push over the takeover. Well, like I say, we need answers very, very soon. Robert Lee says, put the kids in the next 3 games, can't be any worse than that sheriff shit. Yeah, I agree. There was a few questionable... well, the team lineup wasn't that bad. Like, Fabian Schär wasn't, you know, a bad option over Matty Longstaff, but then you look back at it and you think, Schär was going down far too easily in the game. I think Matty Longstaff could have actually played well in this game. This could have been the game for him to shine. Do you know what I mean? Whatever happens with his future going forward, he could have been defined on this game. But I think the tactics were all wrong by Steve Bruce, honestly. Second half anyway. First half, I can't fault him, but I just don't know what he said to those lads for the second half, because that was the shadow of the performance that I've seen against Sheffield United, against Bournemouth, maybe against West Ham and parts. We've seen nothing from that first half to suggest that we're going to get anything from the game. And the longer the game went on, Watford could have easily won by more. You know, the minute Watford got that 2-1 advantage, the lads just gave up. And I think they gave up at 1-1, if I'm honest. Actually, let's just be honest, they gave up at 1-1 a little bit off time. They let Watford ease their way back into the game. Cameron Davison says, who of our players are that are great? Mutu, he couldn't be any worse. Yeah, exactly. Like, why didn't he play? Like, why didn't he play the last half an hour? You know, why were the changes made that you changed? Like, I don't think bringing Bentaleb into the game is going to offer anything. Bentaleb offers fuck all. Bentaleb offers fuck all to our midfield. Honestly, I'm sorry to say he doesn't. He's shit. Get him back to Schalke, because he's absolutely useless. I mean, let's be honest, I could do a better job than Bentaleb, and I haven't played football in years. Joe Linton, let's be honest with you, he's much use, right, as a glass hammer. He offers fuck all. Kraft, I thought, was probably the only sub I thought was the better option, and he could have actually started him, but it's all ifs and buts that we've lost the game. What's happened with Chris Masters saying shortly, it's the same old shite, isn't it? It's the same old tripe. Oh, it's going to happen, it's not going to happen, it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. It's honestly, it's pathetic. Jay, how was it going, mate? Full time, it's finished 2-1 to Watford. Sum up your thoughts on that game for us, mate.
I thought good in first half, but second half we just fell asleep. We played crap. We weren't indifferent. Watford had the game behind the hands. The two penalties.
They did.
Mankiw for the first one was just crap. Don't know why Richie took him down, or say whoever it was who took him down. But the second one was just crap. Why did Mankiw do that? I thought he should just let them alone and just took it out the way. It'd be
I think both goals that Watford scored were too easy, like for the penalty decisions. I think they were easy penalty decisions for the referee to make. I mean, the first one for Matt Ritchie, it's a challenge you could say you could make, but you have to be a lot more aware and careful of the situation because, like I say, Kiko, when he had the ball, I don't think he's in a very good angle. Like, he's going to have a shot, of course he is, because Fernandez was beaten. But I think Dubravka could save that with his ability. But when you're going to make the challenge, what Ritchie made, you've got to be 100% sure that you're not going to, give the referee easy to think he did. They went to VAR and they said penalty, and that gave Watford the initiative to get that goal, to get them fired up. And when Deeney scored, it was a good penalty down the middle, cheeky one, 1-1. What are you thinking? What are you thinking when Watford get back into the game?
Crap! I watched him downstairs himself. What the hell are we doing? 1-0 up, we could have been 3-0 up for the for half time. But were that good?
Well, the first half performance, I think that's the best I've seen we're playing in a long time. I mean, Almiron, when St. Maximin puts the ball in, it flashes across him. For me, Almiron, he sort of moves, but he doesn't do enough. He doesn't get any sort of contact on that ball. If he does, I think he scores. I think we're 1 up after 3 minutes, and then Almiron, he has another chance there when he hits it straight at Ben Foster, and you're thinking in 10 minutes, he makes a great save. It could have been 2-0. We could have been 2 up in 10 minutes.
Could have.
We started that well. Obviously, Dubravka, he makes a good save from Danny Welbeck, and you're thinking, like, if Watford get that lead, the first 10 minutes means nothing because they've sort of woken up Watford after about 12 minutes, and it was a good clearance by Lascelles off the line, but we made it. We continued on, and we got the goal through Dwight Gale. It was a great corner from Matt Ritchie, and you're thinking, right, okay, great finish by Dwight Gale, great awareness. They did check VAR, and they said it was a clear goal, which it was. And you're thinking, right, okay, lads, like, for the missed opportunities, we've got a deserved, 1-0 lead. And we'll have other chances. St. Maximin, he gets put through 1-on-1 with the keeper. For me, he should score that, and we could be 2-0 up. Obviously, Kapui has a free kick, and obviously there's a bit of a pinball in our box, but we'll get rid of it. Half time, we're only 1-0 up, and I'm on the whole complexion of that first half, I think we should be 3-4-1 up on chances created.
Sure.
And that's not a joke. Like, that's what the game should have been. The first half performance, we played well. I wanted fight. I wanted passion. I wanted heart. I wanted everything that I didn't see against Manchester City on Wednesday against a relegated threatened Watford. First half, you couldn't fault that performance. I would say it was a 7 or 8 out of 10 performance because there was still a few mistakes. But on the chances created, we could easily have been, 3-4-1 up, and Ben Foster pulled off some great saves, but we missed some glaring opportunities, and it 1-0 up. You're thinking, right, second half, we've still got to try and step it up because Watford could come back into it. And I still had a bit of nerves about it because with all the chances created, Watford, it only takes them to maybe get an equaliser and they go on and win it. And that's exactly what I predicted, so to speak. And once Watford got that equaliser, there was only one winner in the game, and I thought it was Watford because the second half we just didn't battle.
We've won asleep.
No, I mean,
came on, but he wasn't for me. Like, he was just crap. Take him back to Soka. Take him back to Soka. That player, he's crap.
But the thing is, not just that though. Like the whole round second half performance was just so under par. Like Fernandez, when we go 1-1, he gets the ball, he tries to clear it. Why is he passing it back to Deeney? Like, who is he trying to pass the ball to? And then Deeney, obviously, he takes the touch. If he goes left or right of Dubravka, in my eyes, he scores. Like, there could be 2-1 up within the space of 6 minutes when they got the equaliser. Like, Dubravka pulls off a great save, he bails it out. But what's Fernandez doing with that?
Nothing. Absolutely terrible. It just wasn't a T in the second half or what I've seen in years. This first second half was just terrible. I think we're very lucky in a sense that it wasn't a Man City side, because if that had been Man City, if that had been David Silva or Jesus or De Bruyne, obviously Deeney missed.
and he got 2 in the game. He could have had a hat-trick, to be honest, in that second half. If he hadn't missed that, Man City would have put that in. No doubt.
Yeah, I think they would have.
And obviously, he has a ball in the neck. He's sort of straight a fraction offside. I think he should make a better run, but listen, it's offside. But Watford was still on top at this point. Joe Linton come on. The first sub was Richie off. I didn't see much in this substitution, of honest. Well, in a sense for Richie, but for Joe Linton coming on, they late on in the second half. Like, bring him on at the start of a game, not in the second half, because what does Joe Linton actually offer to our side?
Nothing.
Not in a 4-2-3-1 formation, the 4-3-3, where you play him on the left wing, but you don't play him in a 4-2-3-1 up front on his own because he hasn't got the pace.
He hasn't? Crap.
But Danny Rose, he makes a simple error where he takes out Hughes, and they could have gave a VR penalty for that. If VR checked that again, for me, Watford get another pen. And before they got the original penalty for the 2-1 that they win, they could easily have won that second half 4-1, 5-1, something like that. And then obviously Deeney does get the penalty on 80 minutes when Manquillo brings him down, brings Sarr down. I think that's daft. I mean, to allow Sarr, who's got all the pace in the world, he's the most creative for Watford, I would say. I said it in the preview. If you let him get past you, then 9 times out of 10, if he's in the box, you're going to find it very difficult to try and keep on top. And Manquillo brings him down. It's daft, and Watford get a penalty, and their eyes are lit up because you're thinking for them, they want to stay in the Premier League. It's their chance to get a vital, important 3 points after a win against Norwich from falling behind. They've proven it again. That they've obviously Deeney scored, and they've done exactly to us what they did against Norwich. They fell 1-0 down, and they went on and won the game 2-1. They turned it around. So I think all in all, I think it was a disappointing performance. Is it me? I think the lads are on the beach. I don't think the lads really care. That second half, that tells me that they simply couldn't be arsed. There was no game plan. I think Bruce was just happy with the 1-0. 1-0, in my opinion, in football is never enough.
Same, mate.
How do you think we'll go about Tottenham next week? Because, they're going to be an even tougher game. It's St James's.
We've got to beat this Tottenham game. I know they drew in the week with Bournemouth, so it was a critical game. But Watford, Tottenham got this game. They've got to play Arsenal on Sunday, so tomorrow. So look at the ball. Look at Tottenham. For me, we could go in this game strong, but look at Tottenham's got Harry Kane, so they've got good players. We could get beat.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be a difficult one. But anyway, Jay, it's been great to have you on, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Not to be.
Yeah, I'll be, mate. Not to be. So anyone subscribe to my channel, Retro NFC.
Yeah, subscribe to Retro NFC if you're on YouTube. Go and drop me a subscription. And yes, thanks very much for coming on, Jay. And we'll see you in the next one.
Take care, mate.
Bye bye. So yes, that was Jay. If anybody would like to come in the stream, there is a link in the comments if you want to talk about the disappointing 2-1 defeat at Vicarage Road. Otherwise, I will end the stream in the next 15 minutes. So if I don't hear it from anybody, that's fine. I'll end it in the next 15 minutes. So we'll read some of your comments. So the first one is from Bravo Mo 1982. What happened with Chris Masters? I think I've already read that one out. The next one is from Robert Lee. I think I've seen that already. Ryan Sweeney says, mate, we are now mid-table. We are 13th. That's below mid-table. We are not good enough for 10th. That's mid-table. Well, I said before, we are a mid-table mediocre side. And when you're staying in the Premier League and you've got nothing else to play for, the players will easily switch off. They'll always give that second best performance. And I've seen that in the second half. And I was expecting a full 90-minute performance. First half was very encouraging. The only disappointment was we only went 1-0 up. We could have scored more. And Watford, with their quality and with their players, they punished us. And you can't afford to do that, in this league. We're all going on a summer holiday. Yes, it was that type of game, unfortunately. The lads were on the holidays in that second half. And I'm actually angry this time because, we've dropped silly points again, even though we're safe. There's no excuse for the lads not to play. You're representing this badge. You play for the badge for the full 90 minutes to show that you're good enough. The next one is from Archer. Hello, Archer, mate. How's it going?
Mate, how you doing?
Well, I could be better after that result. It finished Watford 2, Newcastle 1. What did you make of that game? I mean, I'd say it was a game of two halves. I think we played really well first half. I think we created some great opportunities. We could have been more than just 1-0 at off time. It could have been 3 or 4-1. But Watford, second half, to their credit, they capitalised on our laziness or underperforming players, and they went on and won the game 2-1. What did you make of the result, and what did you make of the all-round game?
Oh, obviously, I watched the game.
I think we all did. It was a horrible one to watch.
It was absolutely crap. I don't know what on earth Steve Bruce is thinking with his lineup. Like he's playing Shaw in midfield alongside Shelvey. Well, for me, Fabian Shaw doesn't even look a midfielder. He's more of a centre back, and if you want to put a midfielder in, I would rather put in Matty Longstaff in.
That's who I went for. That's who I wanted to see. Now I was seeing them train on the sidelines in the second half, and you're thinking the lad's itching to play.
I know, because Matty Longstaff, right? Obviously, there's only the three games left, and that kid, right, is fighting for his place to actually sign a new contract for the club, and he should actually be starting in the starting 11. I would rather have him over Bentaleb. Bentaleb can go back to Germany. He's crap. But the match, I don't even know what Richie was doing. And obviously Manquillo conceding two penalties in the second half. Yes, we got a goal in the first half. We did.
But it's never enough in this league, though.
I know. It's just absolutely crazy, and we need answers. What is actually going on with this club? Because it's just gone.
It's an absolute shit show, isn't it? Absolute shit show. That's the best way of putting it. But Lawrence, you're welcome to the stream, mate. 2-1 to Watford. What did you make of the game today? I think it's a very disappointing result. I think it's a game of two halves. I think first half, we had chances to maybe go 3-4-1 at half time. Watford had that big chance when Dubravka saved it onto the post. Could have crossed the line, didn't. But Almiron missed a great chance. ASM had a one-on-one. He missed that. Gale scored. But second half, Watford, they were always going to fight for it. What did Steve Bruce say to the lads in second half? Because we didn't see anything. It was in the second half. It's what you do in that half that wins you the game. That can also cost you a result. And they got two penalties. I think for me, there were two clear penalties. I don't think they were any easier than any other game I've seen. I mean, they were so clear cut. I mean, you could say Richie's was a bit soft, but for me, it's the way he barges in, like it's the way he goes in for that tackle. And then Manquillo, I mean, you're bringing your man down like that. I mean, Saw's got pace, but you can't let Saw with his pace go ahead of you. And also, I don't know if you've seen the Danny Rose one as well. Very clumsy. Lucky that VAR didn't check it. Otherwise, that's another penalty. But anyway, what did you make of the game?
Well, we were good in the first half. But second half, again, like you say, what is Bruce saying to them at half time? I mean, and the penalties conceded. Fair enough with Richie. I mean, you could potentially argue against it. I mean, maybe another ref might have went to VAR. But with Manquillo, I mean, he's been good this season. But what's he doing?
Shocking. Saw's got pace to burn. They know they rely so much on his quality. And when you're 1-1, you're thinking, right, okay, Deeney got that penalty. Danny Rose could have conceded the penalty. Let's not lose the game from a winning position. And we've done everything to try and give Watford the 3 points in that second half, like possible. Like first half, and I think I told you before the game, I was looking for passion. I was looking for fight. I was looking for spirit. I was looking for everything. And we got that in 45 minutes. Albeit we should have scored more goals. But as I said to Archer, 1-0 is never enough in this league. But second half, I'm sorry to say, we fully collapsed. I don't know what the game plan was. The substitutions for me were questionable, to say the least. Joe Linton offers absolutely nothing. Bentaleb's fucking terrible. Like for me, Watford have probably never have played an easier second half of the season.
Well, we just gift them the penalties and
gift wrap.
I mean, people say, "Oh, well, it was only a couple penalties," but we can't afford to be gifting them. And then Deeney, fair play to him, 2 good penalties, and you still got to put them away. And we've seen Dubravka save a penalty off him before. So I think he's kind of I mean, I think he was even more desperate to score penalties against somebody who's denied him from the spot. But looked very. But I mean, it was a bit like a lot of sometimes we've played away games we've had under Pardew when we've gone 1-0 up in the first half. You think brilliant, and then second half team talk. We concede early in the second half, and it just goes wrong from there.
Do you know what it is? It's just watching that second half. The players simply couldn't be arsed. And I don't want to sound like I'm being horrible or rude here, but the first half, absolutely amazing. Like, you couldn't ask for any more, apart from the only disappointment is that we should have scored more goals. But second half, they simply couldn't be arsed, and they were so lazy. And that's what gave Watford the 2 penalties. Like, there were easy clearances that we could have made, and there were just simple errors that were made that we've given away through Manquillo and Matt Ritchie. And people say that they can say there were penalties. I think there were. Like, the VAR checked them, they said pen. So obviously they look at the system. They gave the 2 penalties they scored. To me, Deeney, that second half alone could have had a hat-trick. He missed an absolute set. Like, after 1-1, what was Fernandez doing when he had that ball? Who was he passing the ball to? Because he passed it straight to Deeney. Deeney takes a touch. If he hits that left or right of Dubravka, for me, that's 2-1, only 6 minutes after you've equalised. What was, Fernandez doing?
I mean, I've just put me in fantasy team, so of course he was going to do this. I mean, he'll get some points for the assist for the first goal, but again, I mean, maybe this is one of the problems with a ball playing centre back. Sometimes they can just be like, I don't know, is it too optimistic with it and just give the ball away? I mean, he's lucky that Deeney just messed that up. I mean, then again, it'd be very sad.
Messed it up. You couldn't miss. Left or right, you score. How's he fired that straight to Dubravka? Just as well Dubravka can catch. He's not Butterfingers, otherwise that could have went through his bloody hands and in. But I'm saying, Archer, what was Fernandez thinking with that? Like, you could easily, for me, in my opinion, I think Fernandez had one of his poorest games in a long time for us. The Manquillo did.
And Fernandez had a really, really poor game for us. Like, if. Like what you were saying, when he passed it bloody to give him the ball to Deeney, all he had to do is just bloody hoof it up the flipping park. It's unbelievable.
And obviously Lascelles, he pulled up as well. Looks like he could be missing for a while. I mean, that's all we need, isn't it? Missing my centre backs.
I know. That's not good. That like, and Lascelles did seem to play that today. Clearing the ball off the line and all that, what a captain does.
Do you know what it is, Archer? He spent more time bollocking Danny Rose for making simple mistakes, especially in that first half. I mean, not clearing his lines. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said it all season, well, for the second half of the season. Danny Rose, he just looks off the pace.
He does. I think he just needs to guard.
But the thing is, just as well, he's on loan now. Lawrence, you want to chip in?
I thought Lascelles pretty good today, but I said, he shouldn't start if he's not fully fit, and he's come off for injury. If that means he's out for the rest of the season, then for me, I know people disagree, but Shane Fernandez, if Lascelles isn't fully fit, because I mean, if Lascelles is injured, then maybe for next season, Kieran Clark could be like the one to come in for him. I know he's not exactly known for playing the ball out, but I'd say more is he's kind of like that second choice to be the centre back who like bollocks everybody. I mean, maybe we could look at Hayden there once he gets back to fitness. But
I tell you what, man, we missed Hayden massively in this game. Missed him badly.
Yeah,
exactly. I missed him on Wednesday as well.
Shelby was really good.
I
was just about to say, for me, I was say Shelby was good the first half, but then he went missing second half because he didn't have, because Shaw was making too many mistakes. You know, we couldn't really get forward. We couldn't see the best of him. Do you know what I mean? It was, but yeah, Hayden we missed it badly. I have to admit.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but for me, Bentley coming on. For me, Matty should be coming on. You know, you want to try and get him a contract. Best thing you do is maybe give him more minutes. If he leaves for more game time, then you know that's probably down to the coach. Because fair enough, Shelby and Hayden are probably better players than him, but you know, why is Bentley still getting game time over him after his horror show on Wednesday? Even if Matty shouldn't be like demanding, like even if Matty is supposedly demanding more game time than what he should be getting for his experience, then he should still be ahead of Bentley in the pecking order.
I have a good feeling, as much as I love Matty Longstaff, I have a good feeling he'll be away. Just by the way things are panning out. He's not really getting enough game time. He's not really getting played even for like 10, 15 minutes. If you're not playing him against Watford, where you need to attack and get forward, to be positive, the lad's got talent, there's no doubt about it. He's scored, you know, some important goals this season, but if the lad's not getting game time, then for me, I think it's either his head's been turned or the club have just... Mike Ashley's just looking for that quick buck. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not about Matty Longstaff or the agent. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Mike Ashley just looking for a tiny little bit of a payoff. You know, the 400 million quid. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think it's just stupidity if he just lets him go.
The thing is, when he goes, if he goes to Udinese or wherever he goes to, for Mike Ashley, it's just pocket money from you know, Matty Longstaff. It's just money that you can spend at the Bandits. That's all it is. Or into his business. That's all it is.
Well,
shocking. It would be a shocking transfer to let him go for so cheap without giving him a contract.
I'll be absolutely good
exactly.
Exactly.
It's. I mean, I don't think Barlaser will ever be Premier League quality. I mean, I just tweeted like, thank God he got rid of Colback. He never put him in the squad, and then he's got no interest in Cyber either. Because I'm like, one of those replaces Matty, man. Because I was dreading Colback coming in for Miguel Moreno.
I think Matty Longstaff easily is a 30 million pound player in the next couple of years if he gets regular game time.
Yeah.
Lawrence, you're cutting out. Is it okay if you drop out? Because I've got another guest. Just you're cutting out a bit. Is that okay?
Okay. Can I come back in potentially later?
Oh no, come back in as soon as you can. Just you're cutting out a little bit. If that's all right.
Maybe later.
Is it okay if you drop, Archer? Just because we're going to try and get 3 guests in. Is that okay?
Oh, that's no bother. Catch you later.
Yeah, cheers, Archer, and we'll see you soon. See you soon, mate.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. PD Broadlock. You're looking really happy after that 2-1 humiliation to Watford, especially in that second half. Sum up that game for you, Peter. I mean, I'm sure I've been repeating for the last hour how poor we were. A game of 2 halves.
Well, first half, much the better side, took the lead. But second half, bollocks. Absolute bollocks, man. 2 silly penalties were given away. I thought the first one looked a bit soft, but I've looked at it again. I thought, Richie was a bit clumsy.
I was telling you in the group chat, it's a penalty.
Second one, what on earth is Manquillo doing? What's he doing? But the thing is, Manquillo, he's not a left back. That is the problem. I don't know why.
Why did he play? Why did he play him a left back? That's the question. That when I see the lineup,
he's not a left back. That's the thing. And I don't get Fabian Schär. He's not a centre midfielder.
Matty should have started. I said Matty should have started that game
as well. Yes. And I don't get why did he take Dwight Gale off, who scored. I thought he played very well again, honestly. But I think the person that I'm going to say needs a break for the next game is Federico Fernandez for sure. I think I could tell he had a bit of a nightmare the day, but you can tell how he's been playing all the previous games since the season restarted. So I think he needs a break for the next game now.
If I'm honest with you, Peter, I think Fernandez had one of his poorest games at Newcastle in such a long time.
Yeah, it is catching up with him. It was a bit like when his fatigue was catching up with Sir Maximin previously. So, yeah.
For me, For me, I think it was a game of two halves. I think we played really well first half. I was looking for fight, passion, determination, everything that's associated with a great performance. But I think the players forgot that, well, they were forgetting that you don't win a game on the first half performance. It's what you do in the second half. And, you know, if you look at the chances created, I mean, we could have been 2-0 up in the space of, 10 minutes? You know, when Ronnie had a chance when ASME whipped the ball in. Yeah. And he doesn't make any contact on the ball. If he does, by the way, I think we'll score that. And then let's get me notes back. And then, obviously, 10 minutes, Miggy gets a chance as well from a corner. He just hits it straight at Ben Foster. He should smack that in. It's a good save by the keeper. But
it is, yeah.
He's got to score.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Miggy could have had 2 goals in the space of, 10 minutes into that game, 2-0 up. We're cruising at that point. And obviously, you know, 15 minutes in, Dubravka, he has to make his first save. Welbeck, you know, it was a volley, but Mankio, switches off, not for the first time in the game. Gets whipped in. And, you know, it's a good save onto the post, but Lascelles clears it. Obviously, it doesn't quite go over the line, but the warning signs were there, even at 0-0 before Gale scored that. Watford, they're in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I know there's a bit of an argy-bargy between Lascelles and Danny Rose as well, for Danny Rose not clearing these lines properly as well.
I was about to mention that. I think what I seen in that first half was basically Lascelles bollocking Rose every 5 minutes because he just couldn't clear a ball. And by the way, I'll talk about how clumsy he was in that second half, because he wasn't his best. But then again, I've said that for the past probably 5-6 months now. And then obviously Gale does get his goal on 23 minutes, and it's a good finish. It's a great corner by Richie. Fernandez glances the header on, and it's, you know, good alertness by Dwight Gale to step in, and he just taps it.
Oh yeah, he was at the right place at the right time to get on the end of it. Have I seen Joe Linton do that for a while? No.
Joe Linton burst a gut? Are you joking? No, but you know what it is? It was a great corner by Richie, because they were struggling, Watford, with the set pieces, and with the start that were made, for how positive we were with the chances that were missed, and being so positive on the ball, I think we deserved that 1-0 lead. It was great work from that set piece. So it's nobody else that are conceding from set pieces. Then again, you could say that later on with the penalties, but from corners and free kicks, it Dwight Gale, you know, that would have done his confidence a world of good. And you're just looking for that second goal, and then you know, Richie from a corner. Shelby, no, not Shelby. It was Ben Foster. He had to tip one over it was Richie's corner. He crossed it in. And it was kind of good in Foster's own net. He tipped it over the crossbar. So, you know, straight on from that, we could have got a second there. And then ASM as well, you know, he picks up the ball. He's one-on-one with Foster. Yes, he's got the pace, but he's got to score. I'm sorry, I love him, but he's got to score.
I think he's got to dink it over Foster rather than put his foot through it.
And then, obviously, before my first half notes, Kapui, he gets a free kick for Watford. And obviously, there was a bit of a scramble in the box, but we'll get rid of it. And we're going to the half-time 1-0. And I was telling you in the group chat, Watford, you know, second half performance for them, that's what they're looking for. Watford are looking for a response. You know, there's plenty of time, you know, left in the game. I was happy with the performance in the first half, but I was sort of nervous going into the second half, because 1-0 is only a small lead in this league, and you can be punished very quickly like we were in the second half. And I'm not being funny, Peter, but we could have been 3 or 4-1 up in that first half. Danny Welbeck's chance,
great. A few balls away, right close to like Decouri and bloody Dini Welbeck. It could have been.
And I just think, obviously, go on.
Yeah, no, carry on.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you know, with that chances that they had, Watford, that was their only clear chance of the game. You know, I would say the Capu one was really that was a good free kick, wasn't going anywhere, but the one where they hit the post, that was their only real chance. We had the gaping ones where we should really have scored. And then second half, going into that one, I was kind of expecting Watford to really, you know, turn up the screw. And the first 5 minutes, it was all Watford, and they got a penalty. Matt Ritchie fouls Kiko. Kiko wasn't really going anywhere. Fernandez gets beaten, all ends up. Kiko, for me, like, it was 50-50 whether or not he would have scored or not, but I think Dubravka could have actually saved it. Like, you know what he's like. He's got the ability to do so.
I think there were great penalties by Dini. He's hit them. He's gone for the roof.
I'm on about the lead up to the penalty, which when Kiko goes down. If he takes a shot on goal, I think Dubravka could have saved it.
Possibly, yeah. But he wasn't.
Dini's penalty it's what Dini does. Like
90 mile an hour, nearly 100 mile an hour, the way he blasted them in.
And then obviously, we'll go. It's 1-1, and there's only one team that look like they want to win it. Watford, obviously, we know they're trying to stay in the Premier League, and congratulations because they are going to stay up. With that, I think the three that are in the relegation zone now are pretty much down after that result.
Norwich
a long way to go.
Yes.
But you've got Bournemouth on 28 and you've got Villa on 27, I believe. So then I just can't see them catching up. That is it. But we'll continue with the game. So 1-1, that's where we need to pull our laces up and start playing, and we didn't. And Watford, they miss an absolute sitter with what's Fernandes doing? Like, who's he passing that to? Like, he's passing that to Dini. He takes a touch. He's pretty much practically an open goal. You go left or right up to Bravka. If you go left to right, he scores. And he hits it straight after Bravka. Just as well, he can catch a ball like Sells, because if that had been Sells in there, that could have went under his gloves and in. But what was Fernandes doing with that?
Not what he was doing there, but it just clearly shows. I think he needs to be taken out the starting lineup for next week for sure.
Were you? How were you feeling when you seen Dini with that ball, like just so close in?
Oh God. I was
expecting the net to bulge. I really was. I was expecting Watford to go 2-1 up 6 minutes after they just got the 1-1. They had the full momentum was with them. You know, okay, they've got no fans, but they really wanted it that second half. You could tell, couldn't you? I'm sure Nigel Pearson would have given a kick up the arse at half time. But I don't know what Steve Bruce said to them because that first 15 minutes was an absolute disaster. Well, the rest of the whole second half was, if truth be told.
Like defend a 1-0 lead. That's it. No plan B, no plan C, D, E, whatever.
Are you taking my words? No plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Anyway, but 59 minutes. I've got there was a ball which was dinked in. Dini, he finds Welbeck, and it takes a double deflection. I think it was off Danny Rose, and it just goes over the the crossbar. And there could have easily been 3-1 up just on the hour.
Just shows how we collapsed big time in that second half.
And then 66 minutes, ASM, he just fractionally goes offside. He puts the ball in the back of the net. And I think that's where we chance taken off.
That was the only one, wasn't it?
But
it was just bollocks. Second half was just utterly bollocks.
People look back at the fans are saying he wasn't offside. He clearly was because VAR checked it. He was just a fraction. Just a fraction. There wasn't much in it.
Yeah.
And then Richie comes off and Joe Linton comes on. That's his first sub. Like, I understand why Richie goes off, but I don't know why Joe Linton actually even comes on. Like, you bring him on maybe at the start of the game, but when you want to try and get a winner or you want to try and defend for the rest of the game, Joe Linton's not going to offer you out.
No, definitely not. That's why I've been seeing in my preview for start lineups that Dwight Gale's the one to be starting up front at this moment of time.
Oh, you could say that on form, which he did score the goal. Fair play to him. But if you look at the starting of games, I would maybe do it the other way around. Start Joe Linton, but bring Gale on in the second half with a bit of pace. But it was a toss of the coin. But then when you're in a situation where we're getting dominated, it's 1-1, and there's only one team that looks like they're going to win it. 20 minutes to go. You could just tell it was all Watford because what's Joe Linton going to do? He can hold the ball up, but he doesn't do much with it.
Definitely no way.
And then 73 minutes, Hughes was taken down by Danny Rose. VAR didn't check it, but if they had it done, it could have been a penalty to Watford before they even got the third penalty, second original penalty. But that's the thing. You could say they were going down too easily, but I wouldn't say so. I think we were cast of our own downfall for the way we defended. But 77 minutes, Bentaleb and Kraft came on for Gale, and Danny Rose were off. I thought Gale should have stayed on the pitch with Joe Linton, in my opinion.
Maybe why not hide two of them up top?
Go for it. Have a go.
I don't know how Bentaleb managed to get on after his dismal performance against Manchester City. Honestly. Again, where was Matty Longstaff?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're watching him on the sidelines and he's itching to get on, and we know that there's a few problems with his contractual situation. We don't know if he's going to stay or not. Obviously, we all want this.
I think now he's going. I think now he's going. I was half and off, but I'm getting to the point where I think he's off.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanted Matty Longstaff to start the game because I think the lad's got abundance of talent. And there's a few scenarios where they think that he's holding the club ransom, whatever. But at the end of the day, we'll only find out with the transfer. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Ashley just sells him up. And yes, it'll be a small, tiny little fee. Yet we can make £30 million off him in the next couple of years if we give him what he wants. But the thing is, the money that we see off Sean Longstaff, which is League Two money, if you ask me, in terms of a transfer, that's going to go and make Ashley and Lee Charnley's back pocket. It'll be spending money for them. It'll be a little bonus for them, and the fans don't benefit. But in terms of the game, yeah, Bentaleb offers fuck all. Like, he's injury prone, he's weak. He doesn't really offer anything. No wonder he didn't make the grade at Tottenham. There was a bit of talent there. He didn't do great. They got rid of him to Schalke. He rarely played for Schalke, who are struggling in the Bundesliga. And then he comes to us. Like, why? I said to you back in January, why did we sign him? We didn't need to sign him. We don't need a midfielder. We needed at the time. We needed a striker.
Yeah, that was the thing.
He offers nothing. He's too lazy. Like, he gives the ball away far too quickly. And he comes out on Twitter on Wednesday night. Probably the joke of the century. Oh, there was a full fight on Wednesday. There was no fucking fight in that game. We showed no fucking fight. And in that second half, right? In that second half, no wonder we conceded. I'm not putting the winner onto Bentaleb, but the minute he comes on, there is no fight. Well, the game's done. Bruce was thinking, 1-1. Let's just take it back to St James's Park. Bruce doesn't realise when you've got 10, 15 minutes left of the game, and opposition's got plenty of chances to go on and win the game. In Watford, there was only one side that were going to win it, and that was the Hornets.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think those substitutions really baffled me. You know, Steve Bruce was defending right from the off when he made those subs. Kraft, I can understand. I think he should have started, in my opinion. That's all opinions now that we've lost the game. I don't think really that he should have been dropped. You could say he was tired, understandable. But listen, I think when he came on, he done all right. I mean, the game was going away from us anyway, but at least he got forward. He tried to be positive, and I'm trying to back the lad where I can, where he's getting a lot of criticism. But then we all know on 80 minutes, the worst time to concede a penalty, Manquillo brings down Saw, and Saw's got pace. We know that he's got quality. He's the best player at that club, I would say, in terms of ability.
I think he'll be away from Watford next season. I think there'll be a few clubs after him.
Well, they've just paid £40 million for him last season, so it might be tough. They might want more, so that he could stay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, Peter, I said in the preview, don't let him get forward. Don't let him get ahead of your defence. And the minute Saw with his pace, he got past Manquillo. He was in the box, and the minute Manquillo's trying to, bring down Saw, there's only one winner, and it's Saw, and Watford got a penalty.
Yeah.
And what were you thinking? At 1-1 when Watford got that penalty, what were you thinking? I was thinking goal straight away. Goal.
Yeah.
Sorry to be negative, but I was thinking goal.
Exact same.
And Deeney steps up and he puts it into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's 2-1 to Watford. And let's be honest with you, they obviously the game finished 2-1 Watford. They put their chances in where it mattered in the second half, because fans need to understand you don't win a game on the first half. You could score as many goals as you like, but if Watford came out and scored 10 goals, or say it's a futsal game, they win the game. You know what I mean? Like, you win it on your chances that you create. It doesn't matter. The thing is, right, we could have a game where we could have 80% possession like Man City and going 2-0 up at half time. But if a team like Watford, comes out and they win 3-2 by having 3 shots on target, and we've had like 10 or 11. It's not about how many shots on target. It's not about the possession. It's about being clinical and putting your chances in. Yes, we know Watford up front. We know they're not like blessed with a lot of goals, and we know they're not blessed with a lot of talent. They've got some good players. But the problem is, though, we made it too easy for them.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And obviously, the Sal's had to go off as well with an injury, which, if we're losing the game, if that was worse, it was the icing was on the cake for Watford, because once you lose your captain and your best centre back at the club, you could argue, like, why did he start if he was, like, injured? I mean, we went to know that. Obviously, when he started, you think, is it just precaution for the Man City game? But he survived for a good 80-odd minutes, but it's going to be a real shame, and we can only wish him all the very best. I mean, I don't want to be negative yet, but I think he could be out for the rest of the season by the looks of it.
We'll just wait and see what Steve Bruce says about him, but yeah.
But honestly, I can't take anything away from Watford for their second half performance, but we can't fathom that performance. It's not acceptable. It's not good enough. And yes, we could be safe. Yes, the lads are on the beach. But when you play for this badge, we expect a lot more than what you offered. Like, yes, I wanted a performance, but in the preview, I did not ask for a 45-minute performance. I asked for a 40-minute performance.
All 9 minutes you need, not exactly. And
I'm not annoyed is an understatement. I'm angry. Like, that's an understatement. I wasn't angry against Man City on Wednesday because I think it's Man City, fair enough. But Watford are not on the same level as Manchester City. That seems like I'm doing them disservice or not. I'm saying they deserve to win the game. But fair play to them. They're going to stay up. They're a good side on paper. Nigel Pearson's done a great job. But that second half performance, that's not us, because with that result there, that makes the Bournemouth game look pointless. It makes all the other results look pointless because the minute we've got that 4-1 against Bournemouth, the lads for me throw the towel in. West Ham, 2 sloppy goals, threw the towel in. Man City completely threw the towel in, and second half just gave up.
Threw the towel in 3 times in a row.
That's we've dropped points against Watford, not for the first time. We did it at St James's as well. And this week we've only picked up any points from them 2 fixtures. You either looking to pick up a point, if not all 3, and we've come away empty-handed. My form is not looking very good going into Tottenham, is it?
Not really. That's the thing. No, they're on a bit of a bad form, but got a much better.
The thing is now, Steve Bruce, I don't know if he's trying to bottle it, but he doesn't realise if he gets like 1 more win, he goes ahead of Rafa Benitez's points tally. He's going to make Rafa. The thing is, obviously, I prefer Rafa over Bruce, but Bruce, give him his credit. He's done well second half of the season. He's changed the formation, but he's doing his very best, isn't he, to bottle it, to really end the season on a sour note, which could have been positive.
Exactly. You're going to have fans getting on his back again for sure.
But that's what I mean, because you're making stupid decisions which you shouldn't be making. I don't really want to think too far ahead because Tottenham's now not till Wednesday. We've got a bit of a break. Tottenham play tomorrow, so I can't really do my preview till tomorrow night because they're playing Arsenal. But how do we go about Tottenham? I think how do you pick the lads up with the last 3 remaining games? Because if you look at Tottenham at home, Brighton away, and then you look at Liverpool at home, we'd be lucky if we even pick up any points. Realistically,
exactly.
How do we go about Tottenham then? I mean, it's going to be a tough ask. I know we're at home and there's no fans, but how do we go about it?
It's a good question.
1 second, Peter. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult ask, I think, because it's just a case of like today we've really let our guard down. Like the minute we've had that good feeling that we'd let a club like Watford back into the game, and it's not something you should be doing.
Exactly, that's the thing.
We'll read a few comments out, Peter, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. So the gaming train says Richie clearly isn't fit, or at least he's not fit to play a full match. Well, it was kind of evident in the game, really. Like he was good for the first.
Yeah,
45.
He played very well until he gave away the penalty, I thought.
I think do you know what it is? Even before he gave away the penalty, I thought his second half performance was shit. And I like Richie. I think he's great, but you've got to be honest with yourself. I don't think any of them were great. We look lazy. We look off. So I've seen a comment actually before half time. Well, at half time, and someone says to tell Steve Bruce, don't give him Horlicks at half time. I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Barrymore says, the media say Bruce has us playing great football and we've been doing great after restart. Well, you change the formation, we start getting results. The football hasn't been fantastic. I think ASM and Almiron's bailed them out in games, but the same old problems are still there against lower league sides like Watford, like Norwich and West Ham. We fail to grasp to see out games, or to we'll try our very best to fuck up in games, and that's exactly what we've done this afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There's no plan.
There's no plan B. Like I think there was a chance missed today. Like to really get back on track. To think, we'll really tackle the last 3 games: Tottenham, Liverpool, and Brighton. Even though we're up against it, but if Bruce had a few critics on Wednesday night, and rightly so, albeit it was against Man City. I didn't really want to criticise him, but I think today, for the second half performance, I think you have to, because when Steve Bruce come out in the media before the game and says 35 points after Southampton will look safe, that's the wrong attitude to have. We're not safe on 35 points.
No, definitely no chance.
It's not something you should be coming out with, and that's why the players have obviously performed the way they have. I'm not giving them excuses because today they were shit, but at the end of the day, I'm amazed that they've even got results against Bournemouth and Sheffield United after what he'd said in the media. If he's been telling them before lockdown that we were safe of 35, I'm sorry, that's not what you should be saying to the media. You say 40 points is your safety mark, but you see where the season goes. Like, you never know. Norwich, let's take Norwich out. Mm-hmm. Watford, West Ham, Bournemouth, they could have had 35 points by now, but the results have kind of gone forward. But the attitude just hasn't been there really, like all week.
No, it hasn't.
You know what I mean? We've lost what West Ham. So in the space of 6 days, we've lost 3 games. Oh no, we've drawn one. We've drawn one, which we should really have lost. Let's be honest with you. And we've lost the last 2. And and then obviously Michael Barrymore says reality is 2 wins out of 7, and that's true, but not good enough. Did you see the stat, Peter, from today that we've conceded the most away goals in the Premier League?
Oh, it's not surprising.
That was even before we went 1-0 up. I think that's Stacks. He said we are bad. Yeah, that was just piss poor. From honest, the first half performance, I've taken nothing away from the lads. I thought they played really well. I give them credit where it's due. The outclassed Watford, but we should have taken my chances. And when you don't take your chances and you're only 1 up at half time, you will be punished. And a side who's battling relegation, they're punished with. But if they'd been like a mid-table side, we might have come away with a draw or something like that. But I can understand why Watford went for it, but we allowed them to play their way.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, do you know what it is, Peter? I don't know how Steve Bruce picks them up for the Tottenham, Brighton, and Liverpool game. I really don't. Like when you're safe and he's coming out with things like that, we're safe. That's a shit mentality attitude. Like when the fans want a bit more as well. Like there was a chance of Europe. Yes, okay, it was a slim chance, but top 10 was a real realistic aim.
We're going to get that anymore.
After Bournemouth, we're just being a shadow. That's what I'm frustrated about. Like we are capable of beating sides, right, by a decent margin, home or away. It doesn't matter who it is. But then we show up against West Ham with that performance, and that was a shower of shit. We play Man City, absolute shower of shit, and then we play against Watford this afternoon, an absolute shower of shit. Like that's why we're so inconsistent. That's why fans are obviously asking for the takeover, and it's so frustrating because they're asking me, and I don't have a clue. And the papers are saying this, the papers are saying that. The fans are saying, well, Steve Bruce is out, and he's out, he's deaf. And the thing is, it's all confusing because the club don't speak, and obviously now we need answers from the club to see what's going on for next season.
Yeah, that is the thing, and just shows the communication from the club to the fans is absolutely pitiful.
Question. Well, I'll answer it, and then you can answer it. Ryan Sweeney says, "Would you still give Bruce money if possible?" Yeah, I've said give him a chance for next season. Give him the first 6 months. I think he's kept winning the Premier League. Yes, he changed the formation after a very dismal first half of the season. 5 at the back never worked, but he come out and he was honest and he said, Rafa Benitez, he had that formation, he had them playing. I wanted them to stay calm. I want them to play the way they play. But he found out it wasn't working with new players like Joe Linton, like ASM, and he's changed the formation and we've played better football. And then he's obviously changed it the way he plays, and we're getting results. And that's why we're safe now, because he's changed the formation. The players have obviously played it with a lot more freedom. We could have been even further up the league if we'd maybe tried at the start of the season, but it's ifs and buts. But yes, I would give him some money. I do believe he should be given a chance because he's kept the club up. He's a local lad. You could say it's Steve Bruce and whatever, but at the end of the day, poorer managers have had chances at clubs and they've won stuff because they've been given that chance. And all fans are different. I do respect everybody's opinion if you don't want him next season. But listen, we have got Steve Bruce right now, and that's what we're going to have to deal with. Either if Mike Ashley or a takeover happens, because like I say, there is no guarantee of the takeover whatsoever. I don't know about you, but would you back Steve Bruce next season?
Yeah, I'll still give him a chance, see how he does.
Because
maybe in the first few games, but if it goes bad, I think it'll be.
I think you know what I think, Peter. Right? What's 6 months going to do? I mean, even if Pochettino was to come in, if we've got a takeover, mistakes are going to get made anyway with money getting spent. Like you've got to remember, we've still got this side. We're not going to dispatch it the whole side straight away. It's going to take a bit of investment, and mistakes are going to get made along the way. Money's going to get spent. Like Man City, they had a few managers in, and then they got the right one in. They won the league. It's not going to be plain sailing. People think when a takeover happens, or if it does happen, it's going to be plain sailing. It doesn't work like that. Like I'd rather let Steve Bruce give him 6 months to see what he can do. And if he doesn't achieve it after 6 months, then I can say, well, do you know what it is? We'll give him a chance.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Barry says, good games under Bruce has been a few and far between. Yeah, I mean, they've been very hit-y-missy. Like, we'll have one good result, and then when we've drawn a game or lose one heavily, I know what you mean with that one. And to think there was no reaction after the game on Wednesday, that's why I'm angry. Because, yes, I asked for a reaction. I asked for a better performance. I asked for fighting spirit, heart, desire. I got that for 45 minutes. Do the players not realise a game lasts 90 minutes? And, we've literally second half been played off the park. After the first half, we outplayed them. But it's not what you do first half, it's what you do second half. And, yeah, that's why I'm disappointed. It's been a horrible week for the Toon.
It has, doesn't it?
The players and Bruce started to believe in their own hype. If it was easy to walk away from an AOC, I would have by now under Bruce.
well, players can do what they want at the end of the season. If they want to sign for another club, I'm sure they can. I wouldn't be surprised if ASM and Almira want to say that they want to leave. It wouldn't surprise me. It'd either be they want to leave or they don't want to leave, and Mike actually pushes them out the door because he wants a quick buck. I think fans need to realise, like with this side, that a lot of them are playing to move elsewhere, and a lot of them know that they're on high contracts, not because they have a long-term future here. It's because Mike Ashley wants to, make that transfer. He wants a club to maybe buy out the contract so he makes a bit of money and then sell them on for more. But we'll talk about that towards the end of the season. I mean, now is not the time to be talking about like ins and outs and stuff because, we're still to dissect this result. It's a poor one. It's been a poor week. And we'll talk about this alleged takeover, I'm sure, when something gets said, because I'm not reporting on it anymore because I'm sick and tired of it. I am. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, well, I'll always support the club anyway. And then Ryan Sweeney says, fair enough, mate. I appreciate your opinions. I'm guessing you know mine. Yeah, I know that you don't want Bruce at the football club. And that's understandable because some fans didn't want him.
Opinion, yeah.
At the start of the season. But I think he's proven a lot of fans wrong, and that's what managers have got to do. But yeah, I understand. I mean, going forward, if you think a takeover is going to happen, or if you believe there isn't a takeover, if you believe another manager's better, which I wouldn't disagree that there isn't a better manager out there than Bruce. He is old school. But listen, I think we just got to wait and see what happens at the end of the season. Because let's be honest with you, we've got 3 games left. But if the players simply can't be asked, I cannot be asked. But Peter, we've got another guest coming in, so it's been great having you on, mate.
I'm going to have to drop out. So
that's what I'm saying. I've got another guest coming in, so. But anyway, before you go up, Peter, don't forget to subscribe to PD Product on YouTube. He's trying to get to 800 subs, so watch his match review, watch his quick thoughts, follow his voice, and Peter, not to be, man. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you, thanks, man.
See you, Peter. And it's Lawrence. How you doing, mate?
All right.
I don't know what more I can say about it. I mean, it's a disappointing result. We've collapsed and we've bottled it as well. Not for the first time this season.
Exactly.
Where do we go from here? I don't get how Steve Bruce can pick up the lads with these last 3 games. I think they're just dead rubbers in my eyes. I mean, we're not playing for anything. I mean, we could get beaten 9-0 every game like Southampton, but for me, it wouldn't make any difference. After that performance today, the lads simply cannot be asked.
Well, you know what it is? They should be worried. They should be playing for their future at this point. I mean, all that money they're on, and we're just bottling this game and bottling the Man City game. I mean,
yeah, I know what you mean. I think it's, for me, I'm angry because I asked for a performance, I asked for a reaction. And I got that for the first 45 minutes, and they don't realise a game's 90 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not like you're playing your best mate at FIFA. You know what I mean? And you've done well first half, and then you just sort of let them back into the game because you feel sorry for them. Like that's the sort of the game it was. Like we had gaping opportunities, and I think we had the most like evident ones like that you should put in. That's why I'm disappointed. Like I'm disappointed we only went 1-0 up. In this league, it's never enough, and we miss so many chances, but that's the problem with us. We don't score enough goals up front. Dwight Gale, yes, he got a great awareness goal, great finish, but it tells you a lot when Shelby's my top goal scorer from the holding midfield area. Like we've got to address that in the summer.
Absolutely, and obviously the first half, we need to take the chances. I've said, for games where we've got lucky, well, the opposition should take more chances. Today, we should have taken our chances, and then obviously we bottled it in the second half. I think with Joe Linton, why did we spend supposedly 40 million on him? And then if there was a worry that he was, going to turn out like he has, I mean, what does it say? By far, we're club record signing, and eventually he's been left on the bench. It's not even like an Andy Carroll who, kind of just start many games. It's a lad who's supposed to be fit, and we're benching him off performances. I mean, I wasn't sure whether Bruce would have the bottle to drop. I thought he supposedly were record signing. But I mean, it's kind of his. I mean, it's kind of his fault, lack of effort. But then again, you know, it's just poor plan from the club. Spending 40 million on someone supposed to be on number 9 when he's played as a winger.
Well, the thing is, obviously, we can look at it now as he's obviously not performed. If he had have performed over the season, it would have been a different story. But I think for me, the scouting obviously was all wrong for him last summer. Technically, he's a left winger. He's not a number 9. I'd say next season we need to look at a couple of strikers and we need to maybe play a 4-3-3. Maybe go for games next season. Play if you're going to keep Joe Linton on, play him in a 4-3-3. Play him in the left wing position. Maybe put ASM on the other side. And then maybe put a striker up front, maybe like an Eze from QPR, or maybe get a foreign striker in from a foreign league, and then maybe get Eze in, and at least we've got a couple of strikers to replace Gale and Mutu, because I think Gale could be off in the summer. I really do. I think he could be playing away. I know he's done all right so far, but you got to look at the bigger picture over the season. He's been injury prone. Mutu just kind of get a break at the minute. But I know what you mean. I was kind of surprised that he dropped Joe Linton, but then with Gale, the way he's been playing, you can't be surprised. But when you bring him on, I think Joe Linton's better off starting. But if he's played in the right position, but if we're going to play Joe Linton, we'll last 10 minutes to go. What does he offer? Nothing.
Well, yeah, and all right. I mean, fair enough. Richie played the full 90 on Wednesday, so I wouldn't have expected him to play the full game. But Linton, I can't really say he had a good or bad game, but you
didn't see enough of him. Like the game was Watford were going for it, like 1-1. For me, that was only one winner in the game. If you don't lay a glove on them, and it was pretty much the carbon copy of the Man City performance for that full 90 minutes in that last 45 minutes today. When you're bringing Joe Linton on with 10 minutes to go, I think the substitutions at times were comical. Like it could have been made a lot earlier, and I can't even believe that Dwight Gale actually was taken off. I think Dwight Gale should have actually partnered alongside Joe Linton, maybe.
Yeah, and if you're going to take Dwight Gale off, maybe he's put...
Mutu should have stopped. Mutu should have come on.
Move on. Who's the
what has Mutu got to do, Lawrence, to get a game? What has he got to do? He can't be any worse than Joe Linton, surely. If you're looking for a striker, for a like-for-like striker, to Dwight Gale, you've got to bring Mutu on the pitch, because if Joe Linton's not that striker that we need who can't score goals, and Mutu, does he not realise he scored goals in previous games, in games that he has played against Man United at Old Trafford, and obviously the Carabao Cup earlier in the season? Like, what has Mutu got to do to get a game? I know, fair enough, you could say he's been poor and he's been getting the odd 10 minutes here, but that's not enough to say that you could say he's shit. Well, he kind of is in a sense, but I don't know. It's hard because he hasn't had enough games for the club, like, to see the best of him. He's never really started games, even in difficult situations after a 5-0 defeat. You could have started him today, I know it's all ifs and buts. You could have started him. There's a chance.
I mean, I think I mentioned on Wednesday night, I don't know if it was your channel or Newcastle Fan TV, I think it was your channel, that it's kind of example of Bruce just kind of sticking to what he knows, because he kind of knows Dwight Gale's a good championship striker, but he needs to realise he's not good enough for the Premier League. Whereas hasn't really had much of an opportunity since he got the injury in November last season. I think it was away, but why not play him?
Well, the thing is, we've got 3 games to go now. We've got Tottenham at home, Brighton away, and Liverpool at home. Right, I don't care what really happens in the games, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Season's done now. If the players can't be asked, I simply can't be asked, right? Because I'm looking forward to next season. I want to see answers from the club. But going back to what you were saying about Mutu, play him, just start him. Big thing is, Lawrence, what are we losing playing Mutu against Tottenham? What we're losing doesn't matter. With the season's done.
Well, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't exactly start him. I'd still keep Gale and Hammer on in their starting positions, but maybe bring him off the bench.
The thing is with Gale, I know Gale he scored the goal, and I thought he was all right first half, but I think he was shocking second half. But he wasn't the only one. I think we were too defensive. That's the thing, and he didn't really get the service. I would like to have seen Gale stay on with Joe Linton and maybe offer a bit more going forward in terms of an attack and a threat. But I don't think there's any danger of starting Mutu on in midweek against Tottenham, because, like I say, they're all dead rubbers. I mean, we could lose. Tottenham are a better side. and we know Liverpool are probably going to play off the park anyway. And then we've got Brighton. There's where a realistic chance. But, I think Jonathan said it just before there in the comments. He said Bruce's tactics were awful, and I have to agree with him. I think second half, there was no game plan to suggest that we wanted to go for that second goal. We had no reason to want to maybe kick on, and that's the thing. Even at 1-1, we didn't look as if we wanted to go back ahead. It was just all Watford.
Absolutely, and that kind of comes down to also whatever you were saying at half time. I mean, this kind of happens. This has been happening like a lot. We'll get to the 40-point mark, players take the foot off the gas, just relax, and then they'll eventually go and win the final game or the final home game. It's happened like for the last 6 years or whatever.
Lawrence, what did you make of Steve Bruce's comments in the Watford preview when he said he was asked about safety, and he basically come out and said before lockdown against Southampton when we got the 1-0 win, we're safe on 35 points. I think that was a bit much, a bit negative by Bruce to say that, because never are you safe in the Premier League on 35. Yes, it's panned out the way it has now, but who knows if we hadn't have picked up any points to what we have now. Bournemouth could have picked up points where they'd not dropped points against Crystal Palace, and obviously us. What's not to say Bournemouth could be on about 32, 33 points, and obviously Watford are on 34. The West Ham are on 34, I believe, now. What's not to say that we couldn't have been in a relegation scrap? How can you come out and tell me, or tell the world that 35 points is enough? If you're on 40 points, yes, okay, different story. If you go down with 40 points, you're clearly unlucky, like West Ham were. But never should you be telling the media, obviously it's all finished now, before Watford won 43 points. How can you come out in the media and say you're safe on 35 points? I think that's quite deluded by Bruce, if you ask me.
Well, I couldn't see us going down at that point, but
that's what I'm saying. Things do happen.
This is kind of why Rafa kept saying we're not safe yet, when I thought we were, because you want the players to keep on going. And if you're going to say that, then the players are just going to go into holiday mode.
And the reason why I speak about that, because do you not think that really resulted in the performance this afternoon in the second half? Because you're thinking, oh yeah, we've got a 1-0 lead, it's only Watford, and then Watford come out and they literally blew off the park.
Absolutely, and at the same time, Bruce's tactics in the second half, you've got to look at them.
Horrendous, mate. Absolutely horrendous. I'm sorry to say, but yes, I'll give him a chance next season. He's done a great job at keeping it up, and obviously it would have taken a miracle workout to keep our side up. I mean, we're a mid-table side at best. I kind of predicted that we'd finish 17th in the league. I mean, bloody hell, at this point, if we keep going the way we're going, we could finish 17th. No, we won't. But anyway, we'll finish around 14th, 15th if we lose every game. But what I'm saying is, next season he will get judged on this formation, and I hope for God he doesn't play 5 at the back, because I'm sorry to say, if I see 5 at the back, even for these remaining 3 games against Tottenham, Brighton, and who's the other one, Liverpool, and even next season, if I see that ever again, I'll scream.
You know what it is? He's got players there like St. Maximin, Almiron, try and go for games, and I think it's actually easier for him to use this 4-2-3-1 formation with Almiron, St. Maximin, rather than potentially last season when we had Almiron and Perez, and you couldn't really accommodate them both unless Rondon was injured. But I think a lot of people, when we lose games, everyone acts like we've got the worst squad ever. But in reality, we've got quite a bit of talent in that squad.
The thing is, we've got hard-working players, but the only issue I have with them is that they only turn up in certain games, and the ones, the clubs who were supposed to get beat off were end up beating, and the ones who were supposed to beat we end up not turning up. And obviously they do have an attitude problem sometimes where, if they have the mentality where only 1-0 is enough, it's not. But I think going into next season with Steve Bruce, I think he'll be in charge of the club. There's no question. I don't think he'll be sacked or anything like that. But I think it's a learning curve for him. Going into his second season, you keep the formation what's working, his 4-2-3-1 formation. That's where he's judged, because if he goes back to the 5 at the back, then it's going to be the same old story. And yes, you could have ASM and you could have Almiron in your side, but if he goes back to 5 against, say, Man City, Liverpool next season, then you're asking for trouble. You're asking for fans to get on your case. Steve Bruce has not won any friends after this game today, because you beat Bournemouth 4-1, everyone's for him, and then all of a sudden the mood changes because you say dodgy things in the press conference, and then you show performances like against Man City where the fans will understand we're not going to beat Man City with that quality, but we expect the lads to try, and we didn't see that. And then today against Watford, we only get a 45-minute performance in the second half where it matters most. Again, we bottle it and we give Watford the 3 points. And yes, a point wouldn't have been the worst result on their second half performance, but you can't afford to do that next season, because if we play like that, this time we will be in a relegation battle. Doesn't matter who you've got. It's been proven the Premier League's an unforgiving league.
You know what? I'm trying to think what to say.
I'll give you an example. Watford last season got to the FA Cup final. I think they finished in the top 10. They were favourites to get into the top 10. Look at them this season. They've only just survived with 4 games to go. So the Premier League's so unforgiving that you can make a lot of changes to your side. And I don't know what's going to happen with the window, if we're going to sign any players or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. Truth be told, it's Newcastle, it's Mike Ashley. But next season we're going to have a better attitude from the very start. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a fast start.
Exactly. I'm not going to. Bruce needs to take criticism for today, but at the same time, the players, you shouldn't need a manager just to get you up for games with the money you're on.
Thing is, once they cross that white line, I said it in the preview, they've got to go and perform on that pitch. And if you don't perform, then the fans will get on your back. Of course, there's a lot of questionable decisions of Steve Bruce, but that's a thing now. When you're safe and you've got nothing to play for, players they'll not give that extra 5-10%, and that's what we missed in the game. Unfortunately, in that second half, they played for 45 minutes, and then let's be honest, second half it was all of Watford. But how do you go about the Tottenham game next Wednesday? Because I think it's going to be difficult for Steve Bruce to pick them up, not just for the Tottenham game, but I think for the remaining 3 games. Because my attitude now is I simply can't be arsed. I want the season done. At the end of the season now, I wouldn't be bothered about the remaining 3 games. That's how I'm feeling.
You know this. I'm kind of hoping that Hayden can be, well, one team's fully fit. He needs to come back in because we've missed him. We need we need, I don't know what it is. We need players in there to get us fired up. If players, they can't, with things going on in the media, they should be worried for the future. Because Bruce should be. Look, I know Bruce has said we're safe, which was the wrong thing, which has backfired.
Well, it has today. It's massive. It's second half. It's massively backfired, because the thing is, we've sort of played into Watford's hands by going 1-0 up, because the second half, that's where you're defined by your performance. And when you're a relegation threatened side and you're only 1-0 down,
I'm
sorry to say, Pearson would, and pardon the language, he went fucking get at them. Like that's Newcastle, they fucked up against City. You're playing, you're only 1-0 down. You've got a good fucking chance to maybe get 6 points in 1 week against a poor Norwich side and equally a poor Newcastle side, albeit they're safe, they're not going anywhere. Yous are much better than that. If you put up 100% performance that you showed against Norwich in that second half of that game, if you do the same again this afternoon and you get an equaliser, you can beat them. And that's exactly what he would have said. He would have literally rolled them in that half time. I think you're much better than that. And that's what we need to see from Steve Bruce next season. If we fall behind in games, we need to have an attitude where we want to get back into games and win them, and not just take it up the arse and say, "Oh, we're beat."
Absolutely, and it's kind of mind, as I mentioned, a bit of some of the games under Pardew. When we go 1-0 up, you think, great, we can win this game, but then the team talk goes wrong, and the players just bottle it. So like players and manager have got to take responsibility.
That's what they did today, and that's why I'm angry in the second half performance, because they can do so much better than that. They've went to Bournemouth and won. They've went to Southampton and won. They've kept a clean sheet. We've beaten Man United at home. We've beaten Chelsea, albeit their home games. But it doesn't matter. Like we've picked up good results. But Watford, we've gave them an easy run in that second half, and that's the worst time to do it. But listen, it is what it is. Liam Hunter says the game was embarrassing to watch. Mutu needs to come on and needs some game time, which I think we'll both agree on. They can't keep starting Joe Litton all the time, and Moody and Gale maybe up front for next game. I don't know. He's going to have to experiment for Tottenham, but it's going to be a tough ask to pick the lads up. You know, we're getting key injuries. We're disciplinary record at the minute. We're picking up needless yellow cards as well, and it's going to be a tough ask, I think, the last 3 games. I really do.
Yeah, and I think Bentaleb, he's potentially, I mean, maybe he doesn't think he'll be here next season, or but I think there's some players who, you know, they should be playing for the future, and you know, players like Matty Longstaff, like Mutu, think, well, hold on, if I perform in this game, maybe, you know, I'd be here next season. With Matty, think, if I perform in this game, maybe they'll offer us a better deal. With Dwight Gale, might think, if I perform, they might keep us on next season, or if I don't, then they get rid of us. But to be fair, Gale has been a lot better since the restart.
See, with Gale, I like Gale, but I think we could do so much better for next season. And then I look at Mutu. Yeah, he's not been given game time, so yeah, maybe it's time to shift him on. And then you look at like Matty Longstaff. It's a difficult one. We don't know if he wants to leave, or we don't know if it's his agent. We don't know if it's Mike Ashley. You know, it's a difficult one, and we don't know if Bruce is being told to keep them out, and that's not right. If the hierarchy are telling Bruce what to do, albeit he's head coach, I've always been one of managers make the decisions at the end of the day, and which could be costing Steve Bruce. But this is a comment from Barry. He says most know that they are out. They're out if this takeover goes ahead, and their attitude reflects this. So he reckons with the attitude, is it because of the takeover? Do you think the takeover is going to happen now? I mean, at the minute, I wash my hands of it. I want it to happen, but I'm sort of like growing sick and tired of it because you keep hearing about it and nothing happens. I'm now at the point where I don't even care about the next 3 games. I want the season to be finished so we can hear now answers. We need clear answers because we've been waiting far, far too long, Lawrence, for this.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, I'll still get behind the team.
I'll get behind them, but I want Armin at the point now where my attention's not on the takeover. I want answers from the club to see what the future holds for next season.
And but yeah, I mean, let me think. You know what it is? Man, I mean, but I think, but yeah, we do need answers, not just maybe from the club, but more from the Premier League, because I've said many times, Masters has just been a disgrace throughout all this. But
see, I'm sort of 50. I'm sort of 50-50 on it because, you know, they're talking about obviously politics and stuff like that. Yeah, politics should never mix with football, but maybe it is a legal matter, and maybe he's being told not to. If he's being told not to do it, he can't say anything. And I don't want to like jump on the bandwagon of where he should. Yeah, I want them to say something, but I'm not on that sort of merry-go-round where he should be forced into saying something. Yes, we need answers, but maybe it is a proper legal matter, like a court case and stuff like that. And we don't know how clean the Saudi Arabians are. We really don't know. We don't know where the deal's at. Listen, we've been given so little information about the takeover. Like, yes, the papers can say it's very close, and they can say this and they can say that, but the club have never come out and said there's a takeover. Of course, they can't say anything either. But for me, from the club, I want answers for next season to see what we do going forward. You know, players coming in, players leaving, season tickets, fans going back into the ground, and you know who's going to be our kit manufacturer, who's going to be our kit sponsor. We don't know anything about that. What's happening with a lot of things around the club? That's what I want to know. Of course, I want the takeover. I want the club in new hands, and Mike Ashley should leave the club, and we need to be kicking on. We need to know what's going on with Steve Bruce. He's not guaranteed to stay, albeit I think he'll stay. But do you know what I mean? Like, after the takeover, yes, we need to hear answers very soon. But maybe Masters is being told not to say anything, and he can't strictly say anything. Otherwise, he could lose his job. That's the difficult thing.
Yeah, I do think that's the case. But I think potentially we need.
You do know if the Premier League say something, they could get sued as well, and the Premier League don't want that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the fan issue, but that's them sorted out first, because they know potentially if they can get it sorted and then let them go through, that could help them financially. And they're probably going to, I mean, the Premier League, they're always after money. But yeah, I think we'll probably need an answer maybe before the transfer window opens, so Bruce can, because if Bruce will have probably players he wants to sell and players he wants to buy. But he might have to add players to the list he wants to sell if he hears it is going through, or he might have to change his list of players he wants to buy. As well, I don't think it's Bruce. Actually, it'll be the scouts again.
I think in all of this, it's communication that I think all fans want to see, and it's really frustrating when all other clubs they're getting that rightful communication. But for us, one of the passionate fan bases in the country, one of the best well-supported clubs up and down the country when it comes to home games, away games, and this is how we get tripped by the so-called board. And there's no excuse now. The football's back, and the project restarting now. There's no excuses. We need answers. And yes, I'll wait for the next 3 games for the season to finish. But now, after that, there's no excuse not to say anything to us, the fans. And if it drags on anymore, I think there will be more protests. Even though we can't protest to save our life because we've seen it all before. But it will start getting really temperamental, and that's not what you want to see. Because this is the worst of the worst now. Like, this is really bad.
I mean,
we're talking about get behind the team, but the ownership never helps.
Well, absolutely, and the worst thing is if this was to get rejected. I mean, there will.
I'll look at the papers once more, because it's either that it gets rejected or it just fizzles out, and it's more lies, and it's they build up so much hope, and the fans get excited, and I know what you're saying. Like we all want the takeover. We all want to see the club in new hands, and we don't want to be just battling mid-table. We don't want to see the fan base so negative, and we all want to support the same club, and that's what we're about. But I know what you mean. It's just we can't talk about transfers and targets and stuff like that. I mean, I know Barry mentions it here, but we don't know until we either have a takeover or Mike Ashley. If it's Mike Ashley, then there is no budget. There is no budget.
Bruce's transfer targets and loans and freebies. Well,
literally Wonga loans. That's all it'll be till the end of the season. Well, what does that tell you when you get Danny Rose, Bentaleb, and Lazaro on loan to the end of the season? And albeit they've had their loans extended because they're not welcome at their own clubs, so where they're at. But that tells you their own story. They're not good enough. But not just about that. We're all about loans now, and we need to get players on contracts so we can settle them down, build them up, and we can progress. Like, getting loanies in where they could be good, like, say, example, Jethro Willems, and then they end up leaving and they don't come back. We've lost a quality player, do you know what I mean? Whereas if you've got them on a contract, you can build around them.
I think, Willems, it was just the injury, and that's maybe why we went for a loan first rather than signed him permanently.
I don't think he'll be back, unfortunately. I was talking to Peter about it. I don't think he'll be back.
Right.
Great servant for the club, by the way. I will say that.
We went loan for him rather than permanently. As for Rose, well, I think he's trying maybe it's a bit of an audition for him to get a move away from Tottenham, because I think he'll be away from them. I mean, whether it's to us or Leeds if they come up, because I think he'll want to play up north. He's been quoted this. Lazaro, Scott Tan, but I'm not sure he's worth I'm not sure about the 22 million, although I wouldn't be against it. Bentleb can just do one. Yeah,
there'll be a lot of changes, I suppose, in the summer. But is there anything else you would like to add, Lawrence, before I wrap up?
I mean, not really. But the good thing is when we lose games during this period, at least we've only got to wait a few days for the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, it's Mourinho as well. He's been drawn and losing games as well, so we've got a chance. I mean, I suppose we can bounce back, but today was obviously disappointing. But Lawrence, it's been great to have you on, and I'm sure we'll see you very, very soon. Stay safe, man, and I'll see you very soon for the Spurs review, and hopefully we're a bit more positive. See you soon, mate.
Yeah.
So, that was Lawrence. Thanks to him for coming on. Thanks to Archer. Thanks to everybody, like Peter, who's come on, and Jay, who's all had that say. And Watford have won by 2-1 at Vicarage Road in the Premier League. And it's another defeat. It's been a horrible week. Steve Bruce got it completely wrong in that second half. And 1-0 is never enough. And making too many, individual mistakes. And fair play to Watford. If any fans are watching, you deserve to stay up. You've got a great squad on paper. And hopefully now he can kick on for next season and move forward. But fully deserved 3 points, and you really did show a great fight and a good spirit in that second half. And we have to move on now to Tottenham on Wednesday and see how they do in the London derby against Arsenal. So thank you to everybody who's watched this afternoon for a couple of hours, and I'll love and leave you all. And
Please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free of charge. It really does help the channel to grow in 2020, and it just goes to show you enjoy the content. If you want to be on in the future, make sure you come on next time for the Tottenham game, and make sure you hit the thumbs up as well. The more people that hit the thumbs up, the better. And I really do appreciate each and every like that you do on the video and videos that I've produced on this channel. And follow me on social media, Toon Army TV, Instagram and Twitter if you want to follow me on that, and I'll follow you back. And put your comments in down below if you are watching this back. And good luck as well, because it's going to be a long one. But thank you so much for everybody who's interacted in the chat this afternoon. Not to be this afternoon, a very, very disappointing game by everybody in a Newcastle shirt for that, especially second half. But listen, we'll have to move on. That's all we can do. We can't change the outcome. And I'm sure Steve Bruce's post-match press conference is probably going to be as comical as the performance that I've seen in that second half. So thank you so much for watching. As I always say, keep it tuned. How are the lads?